I said, Flirt, it's cold in here. There must be some Flirt Pros in the top tier. Okay.
Engine builders, let's go.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike.
I'm Nick.
We're the Brothers Murph, and yes, it's time to talk about engine builder games. These are games where you start off the game and you got a little modest, maybe a bit of production. Just a little bit of something, but then you're going to build the engine of your victory and then execute your plan.
I was building an engine there.
Nick built the whole engine just now.
Couldn't tell I was building the whole engine.
Model T Ford just invented it.
Just invented it. Finally, someone did.
Ford was a good guy, right? No?
Well, probably not, yeah.
No, he's awful.
Okay, cool.
Anyway.
But yeah, it's the engine builders. Again, somewhere you're building out, engine builders is one of those kind of terms we're kind of talking about, we're putting in this list. There's a lot of games that can kind of fall into here. We're trying to do, for the most part, more like pure engine builders, where like that's like mostly what you're doing, if not only what you're doing. And then over on our Patreon, there'll be 10 more engine builders that we really, really like over there. So make sure to check that out. And I guess go to get into it, eh?
Let's hop right in. Oh, no, you said become patrons. I'm going to say it again. Become patrons.
Yeah, there you go. Number 10, I think it would be high on the list if we played it more times, but this is going to be Moon Colony Bloodbath.
Absolutely. When you hear that title, you're like, gotta be an engine builder.
Yeah, this is an engine building and an engine wrecking game. Well, you're not wrecking your own
Your
engine,
engine's going to get wrecked.
It's going to get wrecked.
It's your fault.
Indeed. So this is a game where you are building a moon colony and there happens to be a bloodbath. Basically, you're building out your engine and you have population, and you're basically trying to either be the last person standing or have the most population at the end of the game. You probably won't get to the end of the game. It'll be whoever's the last person standing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because you're building out a moon colony, so you're putting out these cards, you're getting these cards and putting them out.
Various buildings.
Various buildings. These buildings are also going to give you population. People can then inhabit those buildings and things like that. But then there's constantly, you're going through this deck and there's just bad stuff happening. People are dying. There's robots. Those robots will really, really help you out, but they always automatically just kill a certain amount of people because they're a little haywire.
A little haywire.
But it's this game where that's what you're doing. You're trying to build out this engine. A lot of these cards will activate again and again and again, depending on like kind of what you're doing on your turn. So again, you're trying to build out this engine that kind of gets up and running while it's actively getting destroyed by the game. So there's a lot of prioritization in this game because you're like, oh gosh, I have to kill something. What do I kill?
Yeah, and what's really interesting is, so basically this is an action selection game ultimately. Everything is dictated by this kind of event deck that's carrying out. 4 times, as you go through this deck, we'll be choosing an action. So what's really cool is a lot of the buildings you build will give you additional production and stuff when you choose the matching color action. So you're trying to build up this engine to kind of produce as much stuff as you can. But then, as you said, things are going to cause you to lose population, which can be represented by these little chits that you have, or the buildings themselves are representative of like 6 populations. So you can destroy the buildings to pay those costs. What's really kind of interesting is, obviously, as you place buildings and build up, your engine is being built. But a lot of these buildings have special things they do when they get destroyed. So, of course, you don't want to lose your buildings. But sometimes, you do, because I actually get this really powerful benefit. So that's something we haven't really seen much, where it's like as the engine gets destroyed, it actually helps power you up as well. It's a really fun game. Like it's very kind of pulpy looking. It's not meant to be serious. And so it's really fun to have your people just be getting wiped out, but you can be strategically wiped out almost as you try to survive. So I think it's a fun Tableau kind of, that classic Tableau building version of an engine builder.
Next up is going to be Furnace. This is another kind of pure engine builder, kind of a bidding game that also is an engine builder as well. You're kind of bidding for these various cars during like the Industrial Revolution, and those cars are going to become your engine. So it's kind of a mix of mechanics there, as most of these are going to have more than one mechanic. But this one's got a really interesting bidding mechanic where you have these discs that have certain power on them, just a number. And that's kind of like what you're bidding. If you put out your 5, you're bidding 5. Put out your 3, you're bidding 3. And then basically whoever bids the highest is going to win that card, and then everyone else who was on that card is going to get like another benefit.
There's always a compensation on the top of the card, and everyone else gets that compensation.
Yeah, and you get that compensation multiplied by
the value of your bid.
So a lot of times you're like, I don't actually want to win this bid, but I really need these resources. I'm gonna put my 4 out there. Hopefully someone puts out a 5. So a lot of times in this game, you end up winning these cards you don't actually intend to win or even really want to win.
It's very possible, yeah.
And then you put them down to your engine. Your engine is going to be just a whole bunch of resource conversion for the most part. You're turning coal into this, and then this, and this, and this, and this. And you're basically doing Industrial Revolution stuff, trying to get points that way. But you're just building out this engine that's just kind of like boop, 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 just working off each
You
other.
ultimately want to gain those resources, maybe convert them, and then use your most powerful cards to spit out money. Because you want to have money because, again, Industrial Revolution stuff.
That's right.
But yeah, so you're kind of ultimately through that bidding, managing your resources and stuff, and then sort of running that engine.
Yep.
There's like, after the bidding phase, everyone kind of runs all their cards. And so you're kind of trying to build this almost like a program of like, okay, I'm going to go from here to here to here to here to here. And that's going to kind of, feed all the engines to poop out as much money as possible.
That's what you're trying to do.
For those points. And so, yeah, it's kind of got that awesome action
really
option
the bidding,
to facilitate all the resources that you need to ultimately build and run that engine.
Next up is going to be another kind of engine builder with some action and follow actions going on. And this is going to be Earth. Earth is another big engine builder. Your engine gets big and crazy by the end of the game.
And you're running it every turn.
Every single turn.
At least parts of it.
This is one of those games where it's like there's just a lot. Luckily, it's mostly simultaneous, so that you can kind of do stuff together. But yeah, there's a lot going on. This is a game where you are building up a tableau of 16 cards, a 4x4 grid.
Different plant life.
A different plant life out there, and those all have different abilities, and they're all going to activate kind of at different times because whoever's the active player will get to choose one of the 4 actions. Those actions might be able to play a card, might be able to get soil, which is your money in this game. You can draw cards, different kinds of things like that. And then basically when you do that action, you get to do kind of the main action, but then everyone else gets to do kind of the follow action of that one, which is just gonna be a weaker version of that action. Yeah. But then if you put it on like the red one, everyone then gets to activate any red abilities they have in their entire tableau. Yeah. Someone chooses yellow, then everyone gets to do all their yellow abilities. And it just gets nuts, because again, you have 16 cards, many of which have almost all of which have some kind of ability on them. And sometimes you go super heavy into one color or kind of try and mix it up.
Some cards count as multiple colors, so they have extra chances to activate. Yeah.
And everything in this game is also currency, where like you're building out plants. You can build like sprouts, or you can build like essentially the plant itself, which is kind of this 3D thing. But then all of those things can also be used in other cards. So like this card gives you sprouts, and this card allows you to spend sprouts to get growth, and this card allows you to spend growth to get compost cards, all of which are points. It's just this big, crazy old engine builder. There's just so much going on.
Yeah, I really love that you can like specialize in a certain color. So every time the blue action goes, you do all this stuff. Or you can sort of, build out little bits into all the colors, so you're always kind of getting little hits of stuff. The fact that you can kind of specialize or sort of be a Renaissance earth grower is really cool. And then, on top of that, in the building of the tableau, there's also a lot of things for scoring, which might want to have certain things be adjacent to others. There's a million avenues to points, and so there's kind of this fun sandbox in which to play in.
And this is a game that it's funny for us because we were super high on it when it first came out, and then it dipped down pretty far for us.
Now it's kind of going back up again.
And now it's gone back up again, which has been really cool. So sometimes board games are a roller coaster, and Earth is one of those for us. We do like it a lot. Number 7 is an engine builder that I never really thought about as an engine builder.
It's a little different, but
it definitely is.
Yeah, this is Gaia Project, or Terra Mystica, any of the Terra Mystica games, really. And this one's interesting because you are, in Gaia Project, you are different factions that belong to a certain home planet. That'll be your player color. And you can only live on planets that are terraformed to your body type. So you are starting off on a couple of planets that match your home type. You can go out onto new planets, terraform them to your home type and stuff, and kind of spread out. And as you put out these buildings, you can then upgrade the buildings. And anytime you put a building onto the board, it's going to uncover some amount of income for you, whether that be ore or money or the ability to cycle power and stuff. And what's really interesting is that you are, if you upgrade a building, from like the mine to the trading station, the mine that was on the board is going to come back onto my player board and cover up some amount of income. So you're building and then kind of augmenting the engine depending on what kind of resources you need from round to round, what kind of things you're trying to focus on. And so the ability to kind of build and change and modify the engine throughout the game, I think is really kind of different and cool.
Yeah.
And there's other games that do, similar stuff, Clans of Caledonia, where you're going to be unlocking income and stuff from the buildings you put out. And I think it's kind of I hadn't thought about Gaia Project as like an engine builder, but like in its way it is.
Yeah, and this one is slightly less of like a pure engine build. Like all the other, where it's like Earth, Furnace, Mooncalling, Bloodbath, a lot of the other ones are like pretty pure engine builders. Like that is the entire game. Gaia Project is more an example of how a game can have engine building in it and be a big part of that game.
Sure.
And particularly a lot of games that we tend to like a lot, where it's like you kind of build your engine and then you kind of have to rip it apart and change it to what you need now. And Gaia Project is a big, long game, so you have time to do that. But it's like, yeah, you're building out and then you're augmenting and changing it, and then that just works now. But now I need to change it back to this. And I really enjoy games where you get to kind of like build your engine, then rip it apart, and then build it again, and then rip it apart. I just think it's interesting. And these kinds of games do that well. Again, you could have put Clans of Caledonia or something like that in this place of kind of these big Euro games that have that kind of engine building where you're putting stuff out, and that's going to be unlocking different parts of your engine. And then in this case, maybe even bring it back out and plug those parts back up.
Absolutely.
Next is going to be Roll for the Galaxy.
Got to roll for that Galaxy, man. Nice little quick engine builder where you are going to have a cup of dice, which are representing your citizenry. This is a dice version of Race for the Galaxy.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. There's nothing to suggest they're connected at all. And you're going to be rolling out these dice and then choosing a phase from the, I think, 5 types of phases that you want to make sure activates this round, whether it be trying to explore new tiles, which could be planets or tech developments. If you want to produce goods or ship goods and stuff like that. Every player's going to do this individually. Then ultimately we're going to reveal what we have selected. And any phase that was selected by one or more players will carry out. Any that were not selected by anybody won't.
Right.
So you're kind of trying to hedge your bets and play the mind game. But ultimately, you are doing all of these things to be able to put dice onto these planets and these developments to, colonize the planets, develop technologies that are going to go out into your tableau. And then oftentimes, there are going to be things that give you perpetual discounts in the future. They might give you more dice to roll, which might be weighted toward a certain action over another type. A lot of planets have the ability to produce goods, where now all of a sudden, I can produce more goods and then ship them off. Other things might have consumability. So when I'm shipping off goods and doing stuff like that, I can make use of all of these things. And really, with all of the Race for the Galaxy, centered games, you're trying to figure out an avenue to be able to score points, get that engine up and running, and start running it as quick as you can. In this kind of race to complete your tableau of tiles and unlock scoring and stuff. So I always appreciate the speed at which you kind of can get up and moving with these little engines and stuff. And it's really about trying to figure out a specific path and then run down that path, which is really fun.
Yeah.
It's above my pay grade.
Hey, Jimmy, come here, man. Check it out. Nick's here, too.
Why are you dressed like that?
Oh, well, I'm just talking about a game I really enjoy called Honor's End.
Honor's End is a super fun game by IV Studios.
Why are you talking like
This
that?
is how we always talk. We talk about board games that we like unsolicited.
Oh, no. This is an ad read!
Oh, man.
Then why is there B-roll?
Huh? I didn't even notice the B-roll. Anyway.
No, it's not an ad read. Yes, you are in an ad read.
That's right. Honor's End is a 1 to 4 player cooperative deck building game. We're going to be making your way through 3 escalating in difficulty baddies. You're going to be trying to draft better cards, combo things together, play sequences, help out your teammates, all in the name of damage.
How do I get out of this ad read? No, so much B-roll!
Yes, let's B-roll that way, man. Each round, after all players have played their cards and tucked things, they will see what resources they produced, how much damage they're going to deal. They're going to be moving up monarchy and temple tracks to gather more types of cards, gain equipment to be used each round, and more as you go through this ever-increasing gauntlet. If you want to check out Honor's End, you can check out a playthrough right here on this channel, and in the link in the description of this video. There is a link to the campaign, so do check it out. And big thanks to IV Studios. And just remember, it's a deck builder, not a duck builder.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
I am.
Next up is going to be Space Bass.
Bass.
Bass. There's a Bass and Spass. Space Base by Sir John D. Clare. And again, this is kind of a pure engine builder where you have a space dock, and that's going to have 12 ships in it, labeled 1 through 12. And you are going to be basically rolling dice, and those dice, you have 2 dice, 2d6s, and you basically get to activate different docks on your space dock, different slots on your big space dock. So if you roll like a 3 and a 4, you can either activate your 3 spot and your 4 spot, or your 7 spot, because you can combine them that way. And the cool thing is, though, is as you get more ships, because you're getting money, you can buy more ships, is when you get a new ship, it'll go, like, say, into slot 8. The card that's already there will then flip around and go behind your dock, and then that will activate on other people's turns. I feel like in a lot of engine builders, a lot of, like, activating on other people's turns, or, like, follow actions. There's a whole bunch of these
the ones that we are interested in
seem to have those a lot.
Pattern,
But this is basically great, because now anything behind your board, when other people roll, let's say Mike rolled a 5 and a 3, I would get to activate the 5 slot and the 3 slot from the cards behind my board, or that 8 slot, which maybe I just put a card there. So I'm like, oh, this is great. So it's nice because you're always engaged. But other than that, it's just an engine builder. You're just trying to build up a cool engine on your space dock, maybe even behind your space dock. There's definitely been times where I'm like, well, my best areas are behind my board here, which is really, really cool. I love space base. I played it on BGA somewhat recently, Board Game Arena, and I was just
great.
God, I love space base. Space base is so good.
It's been so liked for so long, but yeah, you're trying to get better and better and stronger cards so that you can start generating points faster and faster and faster. So this game has a really good feel of like a ramp up to the end where you start off with such meager, everyone starts with the same ships and stuff, and then you kind of build up into this cool finish. It's got a really nice cadence to it. And yeah, we've been playing this game for, I don't know, 7 years now or whatever, and I'm like, I still like it just as much as the first time I played it. All right, next up on our list is going to be Splendor / Splendor Duel.
I personally like Splendor Duel.
Our money, I like Splendor Duel better, but they have the same kind of
The
base.
engine building's more or less the same kind of,
And if you want to talk about like purity of engine builder, Splendor is probably still the best example of a game where you're going to be able to start to do bigger and bigger things on your turn with more regularity based on the things that you've built before. In this game, you are, your gem people.
Sure.
Trading gems around.
Like you do.
Buying and selling and all that stuff. And on your turn, you can acquire some chips that are going to be different colored gems. You can take a gold, which is a wild, and then reserve a card, meaning only I can build this card. Or you can build a card on a turn by turning in your gems. And as you build these cards, they may be worth points, but oftentimes they will produce a permanent resource of one of the color of gems. And so that means next time when I go to build something that needs green or whatever, I need to have one less green chip to build that. So it's going to be easier and quicker to build better cards. And there are level 1, 2, and 3 of cards. Of course, the 3s are more valuable than the 1s, but they require a lot more resources. So this is just a great one where you can really kind of invest in a color where now I have 4 blue, so I don't really ever have to collect that color. I can focus on collecting other stuff, and my turns become more and more efficient as I try to, gain points and stuff via those higher level cards.
Yeah, I mean, it really is just this is a pure engine builder.
Yeah, the theme is obviously very abstract.
Yeah,
so
and
it allows you to focus on that engine.
That kind of mechanic of getting those permanent resources. I'm assuming Splendor wasn't the first game to ever do that, but it was definitely the most popular
It's the one
first game
everyone
to do
cites
it.
now,
Yes,
right?
to the point now where like that is a mechanic that shows up over and over and over and over and over again in games, and people go like, oh, like in Splendor. Like it's like that kind of level
Point City came out a couple years ago from Flat Out Games, and they kind of have the permanent resource
like,
thing, and I was
like
just like,
Splendor.
oh, okay, that's a Splendor thing.
Cosmox was like, oh yeah, permanent, oh, like Splendor. And sometimes people were like, oh, this is just like Splendor. Because like it's like the Catan, the kind of like, it is like the pinnacle of that kind of game to the point where it's constantly referenced to
It's the
even
Band-Aid
in other games.
of
Yeah,
that
exactly.
thing, right?
It's the Kleenex, right? Yeah. So Splendor's great. Splendor Duel is a 2-player version. You have a slightly different way of getting the chips, which I really, really like.
Yeah.
I've never been as big a fan of just straight Splendor, although nowadays I like it more than I used to. I don't really know why. I think as I've gotten more interested in just like kind of casual, end of the night kind of games. I've always liked those games. I still prefer big, crazy kind of Euro games. But like those kind of games have grown on me a lot, and so I definitely like it more. But I do prefer Splendor Duel. But they're both just perfect distillations of an engine builder.
This is a digital game.
It's a board game.
We
as
have
well.
it physically. We haven't
Yes,
played it
we
physically,
haven't.
but this is through the
I need
ages.
it's been a while for me.
Dude.
It's been a while for me. I want to play it.
Through the Ages is a civ building game
Yes.
where you have various productions you could be producing, including your points. And the whole game is you're building out this tableau of different types of cards and stuff. And then as you're going through the different ages, starting from antiquity and moving up to modern times, you will be getting kind of the next level sometimes of certain types of cards. So things are going to be like your farms, you can be producing food, or your mines, which will be producing ore, which is the main building material for stuff. You can produce science, which there's blue like technology cards and developments and maybe changing your form of government and stuff are going to require ideas essentially. So you can do things that are going to produce a bunch of science. And then culture, which are going to be got various ways, which are your victory points. So you're going to be building up an engine that's going to be giving you potentially all of these types of resources, and then mainly something that's going to be producing more and more victory points every single turn as you kind of ramp up to this finale and move through
A big old points engine.
time into modern times. And that's what I like about this one. It's like, so many, it's such an engine builder and stuff. There's like all these different areas you could build up. And you can also build up your military and do all these things. I'm like, and all of them can be very valuable for you because at the end game, these kind of event cards that are going to be coming out are going to be things that are going to activate scoring for certain types of things. So if you are really strong in science, you might want to make sure something gets played that's going to reward the player who did the most science resources and stuff. There's just so much going on. It's a big old game.
It's a big old game.
But I really love the kind of like clarity of like why you want production in each of these things. As you try to manage your population, keeping people happy, moving through different world leaders as you go through time, and ultimately get that culture. And I honestly just love that the victory points are culture. Because that's the most valuable thing we can possibly produce.
Yes, exactly. Next up is going to be Wormspan. It could be Wingspan. Honestly, we kind of debated which one you like. We think as a whole like Wormspan more, but do still love Wingspan. The Spaniverse is good. Finspan is definitely the least favorite, but at least for me personally, but I really like Wormspan and Wingspan. This is a game where you are bird watchers or dragon watchers, I guess, or fish watchers, depending.
Whatever you are, you're a pervert either way. You're watching these animals.
Get over it. But nonetheless, you're building out a tableau of birds or dragons or fish or whatever. And they're going to basically activate at different times. So in like Wingspan and Wormspan, you're basically going to be building out a tableau, and then you can activate a row. It'll kind of go down the row, and that is going to activate cards with like a brown ability. The brown abilities are cards that activate that way. And you'll kind of go boop, boop, boop. So you're building out a row, building out an engine, and you can kind of activate those various things. In Wormspan, there's also things like caves that do a whole bunch of different stuff. There's kind of some different things. It kind of cleaned up some of the stuff on Wingspan that I feel like most of us weren't as big a fan of, and really made it a really nice polished game. And then Finspan is kind of like a more family weight version of it with a lot less abilities, which is one of the main reasons why I don't like it as much, but they're all really fun. But this is one of those games where there's just like, it's kind of like Earth in that way, where there's just like so many cards that your engine is always just going to be different every single time, which I really, really like in these kinds of games. Engine builders, I kind of want to be able to like get what's given to me and figure out my engine from that, as opposed to like, a lot of times people in engine builders like, I want to do this thing. And so like they get frustrated if they can't do that thing. Whereas to me, I like having to constantly pivot and move. And I feel like, especially with Wingspan, where there's so many cards with the expansions. They're just like, I'm just going to see what comes to me and build a weird bird or dragon engine.
And there's so many viable paths. Like there isn't just one thing that has to happen for you to succeed. So you can try this thing, you can try that thing, you can highly specialize in drawing cards and then tucking cards or something like that. And I just really like trying to build weird, funky engines that are just going to feed this one thing and see if it works out. It's just like, even if I don't win, I'm like, well, that was pretty cool what I did though. And I think the different span games really give you the opportunity to have exploration within your game and the type of engine you build. But all of them come down to like get a tableau of things. Hopefully they'll have activation abilities, and then like run, that row and collect a bunch of stuff or turn things in for things that are hopefully valuable for you.
Editor Jimmy here, just reminding you that liking and subscribing is very helpful to the video and to the channel. So we would really appreciate it since you've come all this way to #1. You can just click. We're trying real hard to push to 60K, so any and all help would be greatly appreciated. Okay, back to the video.
Number 1, Mikey.
It's a Wonderful World, baby.
It's usually in my top 10 of all time. I freaking love It's a Wonderful World.
We're fans of this game. It's fair to say that's why it's number
So
one.
much, my gosh.
This is a card drafting game,
Yeah.
which is going to be a bunch of construction cards,
Yeah.
potential projects you're going to work on in a kind of semi-futuristic world.
You're talking time traveling-ish? Yeah, it's weird.
yeah.
Who knows? Theme.
So you are drafting out cards, which are different projects, and then you can choose to put projects into construction, which means you're going to have to get various color resources to complete that card and have it kind of go into your empire, which might then produce resources and stuff. That's the engine building bit. Or you can discard the cards you drafted, some of them, for a single resource. They all have a recyclability where you can get a single resource. So, you're trying to figure that out of like,
What do you actually want
what's
to build?
the balance point of what I'm building versus what I'm drafting simply to feed resources into my projects that I'm working on.
Yeah.
Trying to do as much as you can, but not have a bunch of projects unfinished because that'd be wasteful.
Yep.
And then as you complete buildings, a lot of them are going to give you resources that produce every round. And they produce in a specific way. There's goes gray, black, I think green, gold, blue, something like that, or gold, green, blue. And when you produce those resources, they can immediately go on to various projects that you have on your display that you're building. And if something completes, it instantly goes into your empire. And if it produces a resource that this round has not yet produced, that will go toward this round's production.
So satisfying.
So like the timing of everything, and as you build up this engine, both for producing resources and then also almost a set collection element for the points you're going to score, because one card might give you 2 points for every gold building you've completed. It's like, okay, well, I want to build a bunch of those. And maybe I get a second card that gives me 2 points per gold building. I'm like, okay, now each of these are worth 4. I really want to do that. So you can kind of build a points engine as well for the end game, but you need to kind of build the production of resources to fuel getting more and more done, and you only have 4 rounds.
Yeah,
so you really don't have a lot of time.
No,
and
you
so
don't.
It's just a fun thing to be like, how do I get as much out of this tiny bit of time as I can? It's like a 45-minute game
It's quick.
ultimately.
Yeah, it's really
because
quick.
obviously with card drafting, you're doing most stuff simultaneous. And I love like just that pressure of like trying to do as much as you can.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what we want to like. I a lot of times you're only building like 1 or 2 cards around. The rest are going to be recycling. So it's like
Depending on what you're building,
yeah. So it's like it's just so fun. I love the fact that like when you finish a card, it immediately finishes. And then again, if you haven't produced the resources on there, you get to produce them anyway. And it's just so fun and so satisfying to have that kind of timing in a game.
Yep.
I just love this game. I never, ever, ever get enough of it. I just want to play it over and over and over again. I love It's a Wonderful World. It's just a pure little deck builder with some drafting. And it's just great. I love it so much. Down in the comments below, please let us know your favorite engine builders out there, whether it's the whole thing, like something like a space base, or it's just a part of it, like a Gaia project with that. Let us know. Over on our Patreon, again, we have some 10 more engine builders that we really, really enjoy. You can kind of see our patrons going by here.
Thank you, patrons.
Big shout out to Ivy Studios for sponsoring this one. We appreciate y'all so much.
Yep, check out the description of this video for the link to Honor's End if you want to pick that up for yourself and tell them we sent you. We'd appreciate that. You can also check out the playthrough of Honor's End right here on our channel
You sure can.
if you want a little more information on it.
Yes, indeed. All right, y'all. I mean, that's it, and we'll see y'all later. Have a good one.
Bye.